Okay, this is going to be my brainbox documentation. I'm running through everything that is in the gameplay footage that you just witnessed, which is my game Brainbox, taking place in the Apple Store. Your character sets off to try find out if Steve Jobs is cryogenically frozen or not. So first things first. The first screen you come to is the menu screen. So here's some of the sprites for that. Each one has its own personalised look. So obviously that's the apple at the top. And then for the objects of the start and the end and the two middle buttons, which I didn't actually showcase because I haven't got them to work. That's something that I'd like to improve on in the future and add to the game, giving more depth to the game. However, for now, I've just left it at start or end. And as you can see by the edit sprite, in order to make it flash like all of them, I have repeated the same sprite frame multiple times, with also interlinking a white version of the frame, so it flashes black and white slowly, not too fast. And it's decent size. It's 64 by 60. It's 128 by 128 size sprite. All of the top menu bar ones are. Okay, and then coming into my second folder on the hacking sprites level, I have all the hacking sprites in one nice folder, so it's easy to find them. As you can see here, these are the walls that you would see in any of the levels. These are representative of 0 and 1, aka binary code, which is linked with programming or hacking in a way. And the width and height for these are 32, again for the walls. The one's the same. Then we come upon the doors that I've used, the sprite hack doors. They're both looking identical, however one has the name fake, so this allows me to know that if the character bumps into the fake, it's not going to make it through, as I'll demonstrate at the end. However, coming down, we also have the different sprites for what question it is. So here's the first level, 25 times 12 in lime, like a light green colour, just so it show up on the background. And we have this for all of the corresponding levels. So as you can see, answer 1 wrong. If you were to go towards that one, then you would be wrong. But we also have like _2, which is for level 2, _3, which is for level 3. Yeah, that's all the hacking level sprites. We then come on to the player sprite, and we have sprite facing all 4 directions. As you saw, it was fully animated. And as you can see, this little preview here of him running. And it's simple. This is the sprite. He's pretty simple. He hasn't been altered much, and he's not got that much detail. However, it works. And each image is a frame by frame of him moving ever so slightly. This is moving downwards. And I did this so that the character was animated, and I have done this for all directions, which is needed. I have one interactables folder, however I didn't use it in the end. It was a button. I was going to use a button as one of the kind of terminals, but I didn't integrate it into the game, didn't need to be put in. And to make it easier for myself, see which sprites are which, I've put level 1, 2 and 3. Level 1 we have the 3 doors. One door was a test door, which is the office door at the bottom. We have the sprite basement door as it is open. Very nice. It looks the same as the hacking level, but just different colour, and it is representative of a ladder. And then we also have the ladder / door with its top down, as you saw in the first level. All those sprites are 32 by 32. Then we come on to the walls. And on the first level, you're on the shop floor. Therefore, you have here you have the table with the iPads and the laptops on from Apple. And they just make a nice barrier. They're on the shop floor. It gives the layout nice. They're 32 by 32. You saw another one that was just vertical. We then come down to hardware, and this is where the computers are, the interactables, like here, the actual where you hack from. the computer at the bottom here. This is the head of the computer, and on the bottom you have the CPU unit right here. So they're two separate sprites added together. You also have the desk that you don't really interact with. Close these. You also have the enemies, and now the enemies on this one, I added all the enemies into this level 1 folder, which is it's not necessary because it can be confusing, but however it says which one's which. This is just the Apple employee. This is literally the duplication of the player, just moving in one direction and then altering his appearance. As you can see, for all of them, their appearance has been changed, but it's the same kind of layout as the other player sprite, as you can see, and that's because each one represents a different level. Now coming on to level 2 sprites, we have the conveyor belt wall that you saw. All these sprites have been created in game. This is the conveyor belt here in Game Maker, sorry. All 32 by 32 and centered with an origin of 1616. Each one, except for the sprite elevator, which is I believe it's 128. We can go on to it. It's 256. As you can see, it's quite a big sprite. It required a lot of detail, and that was quite a test to see if I could actually work on it. Same goes for level 3, obviously, with just different sprite looks, and also a different terminal view that also flashed, as you can see. And as you move along through here, the preview flashes ever so slightly, just so you know it's interactable. And then level 4, you'd have the cryo chamber and the end sprite. Coming on, there is no sounds on the game. I'd like to put sounds in the future. It's definitely something that I'm going to be working on. If we go on to backgrounds, we have shop floor, which is grey with a nice white dots on it, like to make a tint, kind of like a shine to the floor. We also have the hacking background, which is a green, dark green with a light green on the outside, to add depth to it, to make it look like the actual hacking world, like a Matrix vibe. We also have the wooden floor of the basement. We have the dark black floor of the lab rat room, and we also have the server room, which is just a grey. So that's the backgrounds. Now coming to objects, this is also where I've tried to do some file management, makes things easier for myself. It's level 1, got all the walls. You've seen the sprites for them. They don't actually have anything other than the fact that they're solid and use physics with a density of 0 and a depth of 0. That goes for all of the objects. They don't have any activities on them. However, the sprite employee has a few. I'm getting the hiccups. Uses physics, but is not solid. Has a -10 depth, a 0.5 density, and a box collision mask, as you can see on the lower half of his body. And now, when it's created, it executes a piece of code. Its physics are fixed rotation, true, and the image speed that it runs through is 0.4, so there it's not too fast when he's running, but not too slow. Also added a step event to make him walk, and as you can see here, physics _position_x plus equals sign object player. This refers to following the player wherever he shall go. So that's saying that whatever position of the player move to. You see in green I've put move function so I know what it is. I've added collision with a table. As you can see here, it just says collide. The depth of the Apple employee puts him on top, and also the density and the use of physics makes it so it just collides with him, and that does that for all of them. Basement door, don't believe that has any code on it. No, there's no code on the rest of the doors or the walls. Moving on to the hack level, the hack walls just created, they're just fixed rotation, that's just so they don't fly around everywhere because I'm using physics. That goes for both walls, they're both solid as well because you can't pass through them. As for all the answers and stuff, they're not solid, they are just, you know, top of the screen. You can walk through them if you go all the way up there. They're just supposed to show you what the, what the actual question is. Going on to the doors, there's a lot of doors, like the fakes, I don't believe... No, there's nothing on these either. They're just fixed rotations. Player is where it is the majority of the code. So when it's created, its image speed is 0. That's because you don't move when you're stopped in a fixed position. And also the object is a fixed rotation, so it doesn't just fly about and go in different directions, move the actual character. Now we have the step events for the player, as you can see here. The top 4 refer to if you're pressing the virtual key _right, he will move right, and so on, and it checks on the keyboard. And yeah, as you can see, it rotates through the different sprites and of the different objects. That is so that it animates the actual character going through the different sprites. And each green here tells you what each one is doing. So the bottom one is to stop animating when you're not moving. So that checks if any of the keys are being pressed, and if they're not, then the image speed and the image index is 0. Now, as you can see underneath this, we have loads of collisions, which are all the same, just collide. With all of these, the walls, if you collide with the Apple employee, it will restart the game, which can be quite annoying. I was going to put in a live system, however I thought that would be a bit too much to integrate in without score and so on. Just wanted to make it a simple game that you can pass the time with. So therefore, I made it so it just restarts the game. Also adds a bit of an extra challenge. I've done if you collide with the basement door on level 1, it goes to level 2 straight away. Instead of going to the next room, it goes to the specific room, just to make it easier. Now, the office door we didn't use. The hack walls just collides again. Same with the hack door. This is for, I believe, level 1. That just goes to level 1 end. Object door number 3, that just goes to server room. And so on. Each one, as you can see, like the sprites, the door fake will go nowhere, but the restart the level. So if you were actually to go on the wrong one, as you can see here, it will just restart the level, the shop floor again. The conveyor belt and the computers, these also take you to the hack level, the computers, whatever compute piece you bump into. As for these, they're just walls, so they just collide. The terminals here, you collide with it and it takes you to the hack level. Collide with the warehouse worker, restarts. If you collide with the object lab rat enemy, he will just restart the game as well. If you collide with the elevator, he takes you to the next level. If you collide with the start and the end, if you click, I believe, no, if you just bump into it, it will either end the game or go to the first level. The server's just another collide, same with all these, and the fan down here. And again, the second elevator takes you to the next room, and the terminal 2 opens up the next hacking room. Okay, so that was the meatiest part. Hardware here, all the same, all use physics, all are solid throughout all the levels. We do have the the warehouse worker though, that when it's created, it's fixed rotation, so it can fly off. You have the same move function on this as you do for the other enemies, and the corresponding levels, walls and collisions for that. That goes on for all of it. With the menu, the object start, if you left click on the thing, on the actual start button, it will take you to level 1. Same with the end. How to and character have not been done yet, as you can see, there's no events in there. And the Apple logo is just there. All we use physics so they don't fall or break with an error. And same with these, except for level 4. Level 4 just has the cryo chamber, the plinth, and the end sign. None of them really do anything other than fix rotations. And we move on to rooms. The layout for the first room is simple, as you can see, with a start, how to play character, and end. It just literally gives you this view here. You don't need to be the player in this game, in this level, sorry. And in level 1, we have this is the layout. This is the basic layout. This is the same core layout. The layout, the surrounding, is the same as the other levels, so each room is being duplicated but with a different maze on the using different objects, and each room enables the use of views, so therefore the camera follows the player. As you can see at the bottom, it follows the player. The port on the screen is not too large. It simulates like being on a phone or some small device, which I hope wanted to put it onto. So it's 960 by 540. The view in the room is 320 by 180 on top of the player. So you don't see a lot. As you can see here, there's a little layout here. You don't see too much of the room. You can't see the end, so there's still a bit of mystery. And that's been done for every single room, so it will follow just the player. Setting of the room, just the names. The width is 640 by 420. Physics in the world are ticked, and the gravity is 0.0 and 0.0, so therefore nothing flies off. Background, you can see here I just put in the background on there, and then the objects, as you can see, added the objects. So that is more or less the end of the game. That is everything that's in it. I'm going to play it one more time and demonstrate what happens if you go on the hack level and you get the answer wrong, or something else goes wrong on the game. So far, the only glitches that has been found is that whenever sometimes you run into a table, or the enemy runs into a table, you kind of spasm out like that and you get stuck. But it's things that can be fixed. It just needs a smoother collision, I believe. But yeah, that's something that can be fixed. The first level was quite easy with just 3 opponents, and then you come up to here, go onto the computer, and so 25 times 12 is 300. That is the answer. However, if I go onto 260, it just restarts that level. And now to believe that if you don't just go straight onto that, if you get another one wrong, so I'll go on to level 2's hack level and show you what happens if you get that wrong. And they added this feature of, if you get it wrong, it doesn't restart the hack level, it restarts the whole level, to kind of give you more of a challenge, because if you could just guess, if it's 50-50, it's a 50% chance of getting the answer right. So if you just guess twice, you can end the level. Whereas redoing it, you have to go through all this, all the battles of the level and go past all the enemies again. So you come up here. That shows the collision again, and if you can't get through this, so you've gone to here. The answer is 9. However, I've gone to 11 to demonstrate going wrong, and it puts you back to the start of this level. So yeah, that is that is brainbox, sorry, and everything that went into making it. Not a lot of code. Was half code, half drag and drop, which made it easy. There's still a few bits to work on in the game. Would like to have a end level with Steve Jobs coming out of the cryo chamber, but I was constrained for time. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed it.